Hello, hello Pisces. Welcome to your July 2020 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Pisces. And before we get started, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing if you would like more magical content from me. And make sure you sign up for my newsletter because I send you a reading every Sunday or Monday sometimes, and I keep you up to date on other exciting things happening in the land of Onyx Healing. So without further ado, I am going to lay this spread out for you and then we will get started. All right, my friends, let's start with your oracle cards. First thing, the one who needs to control. Okay, distorted masculine coming up. So this is telling me that the controlling element, the part of you that really wants to micromanage everything happening around you or every decision that somebody else is making, that is what you're working through in July. So remember, this is about figuring out what to meet that distorted masculine with, because it might be just, you know, reflecting on it. It might be meeting it with a little bit of feminine tenderness, a little bit of feminine empty space, kind of allowing that to be. Allow empty space and unknown to be good. Like, allow that sovereignty and freedom to actually be a space of evolution, healing, mastery, and positive outcomes. Now that, of course, when you get burned a lot, that's something that can feel very, very challenging to do, but that is the work that's being done in July, is not forcing, not controlling, not getting into, again, that distorted masculine. You're going to want to catch that when it comes up, when you're in any type of codependent patterns or any type of micromanaging. Just allow yourself to move that out of the body. I would also say that movement will be good for you. Dancing, shaking, working out, like anything that can get that to move will work for you. What else do we have going on? Focus. Use your mind in the right ways. The mind is great. You know, it really is. It's also a pain in the ass. So you want to use the mind and focus your attention on the things that will help you. Right? Sitting in stress, fear, worry, agitation, holding that too often will actually not help you. So processing it will help, right? Don't turn away from the parts of you that are wanting to cling and control or are planning for catastrophe. It's okay for those parts to be there, but also make your way back into the state that you ideally want to be in. That's the journey, right? Is processing and then making your way back into the state that you ideally want to be in. And then we have liminal. Oh my God. Okay. Breathe through the confusion, discover fledgling inspiration. Uncertain places are where the most exciting visions are born. What did I say? I said it over here. Let the empty spaces be where all of the juiciness lives. Let that be where all of the exciting stuff happens. The zone of infinite possibility calls you into a time of magic. It's very interesting. I described this Scorpio reading as like a desire portal, and it's funny because I actually think you're in a portal as well in the month of July, especially since this card is coming up. The masculine clinging really tightly to an outcome, hyperfixation, codependent patterns, right? All of that stuff. And so this is about training your mind, training yourself where you want it to go, and allowing space to be there and for that to work for you, because this is a magical month. And any pain points that are being activated are, as I mentioned, they're portals. It's a way for you to evolve through the pain. Now the central energy for you in July is Judgment. Okay, so trust the timing is the main thing that's happening. And it's kind of like you're being reborn. It's very interesting because there's an element of timing that you need to just relax into the timing. And then there's also this piece down here, which the word portal is just coming up for July, apparently. So let yourself go into that. Know that it's like a new dawn is coming. Like that's actually what's happening. There's revelations, there's layers that are opening up, there's things that are unfolding. Let the path unfold. That's what's happening here. So you can't control the path. You can't, loosen your grip a little bit. Now let's see what's shifting out for you in July. King of Cups. Let's see. I just want to see if this is you or a person. That's always the main question that comes up with this. Okay, so this is looking like you because it's the moody king. It's this king. It's the distorted King of Cups. It's the part of you that is hyper focused on boundaries or rigidity. There's a lot of that coming up here because the King of Cups, while he can be incredibly evolved and wonderful, and this is your king, right? You're the watery king, the emotional king in terms of the energetics here. And with the Hierophant, it's just highlighting the masculine element of this that you're working through. You're working through that piece. And so I'm getting that if you play your cards right in July, you can really accomplish a lot of healing around your relationship to your masculine polarity and how that shows up for you in your life. And that's why I'm saying there's something else emerging in July that seems very, very significant. So you have to trust the work that's unfolding here because this is all work for you. This is helping you to evolve. Now, these two cards are what's surrounding you in July. First thing, Eight of Wands, high speed. This is very, very fast-paced. So it'll be interesting to see what is the speed about. Is it relationships? Is it career? Is it money? Is it moving? Is it like what really have you been pouring the majority of your energy into? What have you had your attention on? What have you been applying yourself toward? Because I would also like to remind you that these things compound. So if you've been working on manifesting, it compounds and compounds and compounds, and then things really start moving forward. So wherever you've been applying your energy consistently, wherever your energetic allocation has been going, is what you're going to see take off in July. I want to make that very clear. Now let's see what else we have going on. The Chariot, man. This is something else because both of these cards are very, very fast, very intense, very powerful. So this is even adding an element of karma. Like whatever you're healing in July, again, I think it has to do with this distorted masculine, right? Using emotions in a way that are harmful or a way that you may have been harming yourself previously emotionally, because we do that because we're humans. But that is the piece that you're actually creating boundaries around. You're actually figuring out new ways to adapt within that. And I'm getting that your area of focus, whatever has been, on your mind, on your heart, on your spirit, that part of you is blossoming and evolving, and there's an element of like a lot of karmic evolution. So healing significant patterns, moving beyond what you thought was possible previously. I'm telling you, I think that July will probably be one of the most significant months of 2020 so far. I mean, I don't say this lightly because there's a lot of intensity on the table. So you can really trust that this month. Let's see what else we have going on. Seven of Wands, you're rising above. Okay, so I pulled a clarifier for like the surrounding energies. And the Seven of Wands in many ways is kind of like you're rising above the challenges, you're rising above the chaos, you're coming out of that and moving into a space of more balance, harmony, reciprocation. It's the you know, you've defeated the mob, and maybe the mob is your mind. Maybe the mob is wounds. Maybe there's something else that you've had that's been suffocating you or weighing very heavily on you, and now you're emerging. As I mentioned with the Judgment card, it's very similar. There's this emerging energy. Your job is to trust the space, trust the timing, trust your path, go into deep meditation and contemplation every step of the way. You will need to buckle your seatbelt in July. I repeat, you will need to buckle your seatbelt in July. This is not playing around. This energy is not, you know, something that is just, you're not necessarily going to cruise through July, but man, this is a month of breakthroughs. This is a month of profound healing and transformation. This is like all of the work that you've done has compounded and overflowed into high speed rebirth. If there is any empty space or any unknowns, I promise you that everything is moving in the exact process that it needs to be. The Chariot is a confirmation of that. This is like a soulmate karma bomb on the table, basically. So anything that's distorted, you're rising above that this month. Trust that. Really, really, really trust that, because everything environmentally is telling me that it's moving fast, it's evolving quickly. Yes, it's all about where your focus has been. Trust that part. Trust the part of you that has been working and working and working to get to this point. Now, the oncoming energy for you is the Magician. Once again, the responsibility showing up here is back on you, and I mean that in a good way, in a way that you are creating, you are deciding, you are in charge of all of this. And let's see, I kind of want to get a temperature check for what have you been creating, what is going on here. And we have the Three of Pentacles. Okay. It's not really showing me. I'm getting that this is kind of shutting me down. It's like, no. Whatever you've been working on, what has your focus been? Is it career, money, love? You know, just kind of sift through the areas of your life. What have you been focusing the most energy on? That is what you're creating within. So don't stop. I'm getting that whatever manifestation practices you have, you need to keep moving with those. Even if you see a lot of progress in July, don't stop. Also, I'm just going to say this again. You don't need to hold on so tightly. You don't. It's already working. Things are already moving in the right direction. You don't need to hold on to it for dear life. I promise you. Now let's do a 3-card pick. Ask a question, ask for guidance, clarity, whatever it is that you're needing. Okay, card number 1. The Moon, confusion, empty space, intuition. You need to go within. This is not a time to look outside of yourself for answers. This is a time to self-reflect. It's okay if there's confusion coming up. There's wisdom in how you navigate the confusion, the uncertainty. And remember, empty space or uncertainty is not inherently bad. It's just not. So stay away from demonizing it and allow yourself to come back to yourself. Card number 2. We have the 9 of Wands. This is a reflection of keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep up with the momentum. Don't stop. Don't slow down. This is also a reminder of kind of the external influences, like with the Eight of Wands here. It's encouragement, and it's also an indication of pace at which things are moving. So it's going to be hard to say, is it something that you see happening before your eyes? Some of you, yes. Some of you, no. Some of you might be experiencing this kind of underground, where there's a lot of evolution happening behind the scenes and kind of underneath your feet. Both of them are serving you. So whether or not you're seeing it, just know that whatever you're asking about or whatever your attention is on, it's moving, and it's moving fast. So allow yourself to embrace that. Be confident with this. That's the main thing I'm getting as well, is it's safe for you to be confident with the direction of this. Card number 3, we have the Three of Swords, grief, loss. So maybe there's a piece of this that you need to let go of, or that you need to properly mourn. Have you been avoiding grief energy? Have you been trying to shove grief into a closet? What have you been doing with the things that need to be processed? Is that why you're falling into needing to control? Does that have something to do with this right here? I'm just presenting the questions for you to reflect on, but know that you have to walk through the fire at some point. So allow yourself to do the emotional work around that. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing and sign up for my newsletter. More good things to come. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful July, everybody, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.